Surah Nuh is the 71st chapter of the Qur'an. It has 28 verses. Surah Nuh tells the story and preaching of Prophet Nuh and highlights lessons about faith, patience, and the consequences of rejecting Allah's message. Surah Nuh was revealed in Makkah, before the migration, Hijrah, of Muhammad to Medina. Therefore it is known as a Makki Surah. It was revealed during the early period of Islam when the Prophet Muhammad was facing strong opposition and rejection from the people of Makkah. The surah was revealed to comfort and strengthen Prophet Muhammad and the early Muslims who were being rejected and mocked by their people. By telling the story of Prophet Nuh, who preached for many years but faced stubborn rejection, Allah showed that opposition to prophets is not something new. It also warned the disbelievers of Makkah that if they continued to reject the truth like the people of Nuh did, they could face similar punishment. The surah mainly describes the mission of Prophet Nuh and his efforts to guide his people. In the verses 1 to 22 of Surah Nuh, Allah explains that he sent Prophet Nuh to warn his people before a painful punishment would come upon them. Nuh clearly told them that he was a sincere and open warner sent to guide them. His message was simple. They should worship Allah alone, be mindful of their duty to Him, and obey the guidance that He brought as Allah's messenger. He told them that if they followed this message, Allah would forgive some of their sins and allow them to live until their appointed time in this world. However, He reminded them that when the fixed time decided by Allah arrives, it cannot be delayed, if only they understood this truth. Prophet Nuh then complained to Allah about the difficulty of his mission. He said that he called his people continuously both night and day, trying sincerely to guide them. Instead of accepting the message, they only turned away even more. Whenever he invited them to seek Allah's forgiveness so that their sins could be forgiven, they stubbornly rejected him. They put their fingers in their ears so they would not hear his message, covered themselves with their garments to avoid him, and continued to remain arrogant and proud. Despite their rejection, Nuh did not give up. He tried every possible method to guide them. Sometimes he called them openly and loudly in public gatherings, and other times he spoke privately to individuals in secret. He kept encouraging them to ask forgiveness from their Lord, reminding them that Allah is extremely forgiving and merciful to those who repent. He also explained that seeking forgiveness brings many blessings from Allah. If they repented sincerely, Allah would send abundant rain from the sky, increase their wealth and children, and provide them with gardens and flowing rivers, meaning both spiritual and worldly blessings. Nuh also reminded them of the signs of Allah's power around them and within themselves. He questioned why they did not recognize the greatness of Allah. He reminded them that Allah created human beings through different stages of development, showing His wisdom and power in creation. He pointed to the universe as evidence of Allah's greatness. Allah created the 7 heavens one above another, placed the moon as a source of light, and made the sun like a bright lamp that provides illumination. He also explained that Allah caused humans to grow from the earth, meaning that their origin is connected to the earth. After death, people return to the earth when they are buried, and later Allah will bring them out again through resurrection on the Day of Judgment. Furthermore, Allah made the earth wide and spacious so that people could live comfortably and travel through its many paths to fulfill their needs. Despite all these clear signs, Nuh told Allah that his people still disobeyed him and instead followed their wealthy and powerful leaders. These leaders misled them because their wealth and children only increased their arrogance and loss rather than guiding them to the truth. They also made strong and deceptive plans to stop people from listening to Nuh and to keep them away from the message of worshipping Allah alone. These verses show the patience and dedication of Prophet Nuh in calling his people to the truth, the clear signs of Allah's power in creation, and the stubbornness of those who rejected the guidance. These verses 23 to 28 of Surah Nuh describe the stubborn disbelief of the people of Prophet Nuh, the idols they insisted on worshipping, the punishment that came upon them, and Nuh's final prayers. In verse 23, the leaders of Nuh's people strongly encouraged others not to abandon their false gods. They insisted that people must continue worshipping their idols, especially Wad, Suwa, Yagus, Yauk, and Nasr. These were idols that their society respected and worshipped, and their leaders feared that if people listened to Nuh, they would stop idol worship. Therefore, they pressured the community to remain loyal to these gods and reject the message of worshipping only Allah. In verse 24, Prophet Nuh says that these idols, and the leaders who promoted them had already misled many people. Because of their stubborn injustice and disbelief, he prayed that Allah would not increase the wrongdoers in anything except deeper error, since they continued to reject the truth and lead others away from it. Verse 25 explains the consequence of their wrongdoing. Due to their sins, disbelief, and rejection of Allah's message, they were punished by a great flood and drowned. After that, they were destined for punishment in the fire in the hereafter. When Allah's punishment came, none of the idols or leaders they trusted could help them or save them from Allah. In verse 26, after preaching to his people for many years and seeing their continued rebellion, Prophet Nuh made a strong prayer to Allah, asking him not to leave any disbelievers living on the earth. In verse 27, he explains the reason for this prayer. If the disbelievers remained alive, they would continue misleading Allah's servants, and their future generations would grow up corrupt, immoral, and ungrateful toward Allah. In verse 28, Prophet Nuh ends with a humble and sincere prayer. He asks Allah to forgive him, his parents, anyone who enters his home as a believer, and all believing men and believing women. At the same time, he asks Allah that the unjust and wrongdoers should not increase except in destruction because of their persistent rejection and oppression. These verses show the seriousness of rejecting Allah's guidance, the danger of idol worship and following misleading leaders, and the sincerity of Prophet Nuh's prayers for forgiveness and justice.